guess the future. So, forecasts are frequently little more than projections of the current condition into the future. They believe that the future will be little different from the present. When things go well, the strategy works well, but if it fails miserably when things go wrong. Their forecasting methods are unable to predict unexpected events that occur more frequently than expected. So that's the first one. The second one is opinions are often biased. Too often, experts and forecasters are affected by the event they are trying to analyze, which makes it more difficult for them to draw objective conclusions. For example, when it comes to financial institutions analyzing economic scenarios, most of the time the forecaster has a personal interest regarding the outcome. As a result, the forecast is based on bias. And the third one is human error, which is misreading the forecast data. This can occur from not spending enough time examining various data or looking over the data too quickly. Besides, human error can occur by not having enough analysis skills to interpret the weather data correctly, or simply by typing in something wrongly, for example, adding an extra zero to a value.
Okay. All can be accepted. All right. All these three. Difficult to guess the future. Biased opinions and human errors. Okay. And then the explanation is also okay. So I'll just add in a few more from my answers. The first one is uh involve the wrong group of people. Okay, so you want to base your forecast, you need to collect data on the correct group of people. Okay, if you just only take one group of people or a larger group of people, then it will not be effective, even if your forecast is correct. Next, we have check. 7. Not forecasting the right things. Selecting the right forecasting methods. Yeah, textbook also got this one. Not tracking the accuracy of the forecasting models. Well, last week we learned about MAD, mean absolute deviation, right? That is to measure how accurate our models are. But if we don't know how accurate our models are, because people forecast, they look forward. They don't like to look backward. Okay, so you keep looking forward, 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 then you don't know whether accurate or not. So if wrong, then it keeps on being wrong. So yeah, this can be answers also lah. Question 2.
Hi, morning, sir. So I did question 2. So there was a table I computed. At first, we were only given the year and the sales, but in order to find the regression equation, you need to know the variable x y and then x squared y squared and then x y, including the mean of x and the mean of y. So the regression equation is y equal a plus bx. So in order to find the b and a, you need those variables.
Okay, what does the regression equation mean? What information does it give you?
It's, it tells you whether it's sort of a forecasting method. You can actually, based on your previous data, you can actually forecast the future
Okay.
sales.
Okay,
in
question
this
B.
question. Yeah, so if you use back the regression equation, so they ask for the forecast sales in year 6. For year 6, the x would be 6. So you just replace the x inside the regression equation. You'll get 22.8. So
Okay.
the forecast sales is 22,800 units.
Okay. C.
C would be the coefficient of correlation. This is the equation for this coefficient.
Okay, what does this tell you? What information does this tell you then?
This tells us the relationship between the two variables, the x and the y. It also measures the strength of the relationship.
Okay. And
So you'll get 0.9932 if you put in all the information.
okay. Donkey.
So donkey would be what is the standard error of the forecast for PCs? This equation I've found it in the textbook. Oh,
Oui.
as for this one, I'm not quite sure whether I did it correctly or not, as there's two equation, so I took this one instead.
Oh,
Is it because I didn't put the 000?
no, it's because your square root. I think 1.6 over 3. Okay, let us see the formula. Is your square root in the wrong place? Right.
Oh, I'm supposed to square root everything.
Correct. So 1.6 over 3 is correct, but you just square root everything and then you will get 0.73.
0.73.
Okay, so you can change that later.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, so we come back to your coefficient of correlation 0.993. What is the relationship based on this?
The positive correlation and the high one,
Okay,
like the strong.
yeah, this one, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see 0.993 is very close to 1. Okay, so it's almost a perfect positive correlation. It's in between here lah. Okay, it's almost perfect, not yet. All right, so the coefficient of correlation can tell us the relationships between two variables and how strong the relationship is. Okay, and the standard error, this one, okay, gives us the standard error, gives us the deviation. Okay, so it's very simple, but don't use this formula because it's very difficult either to calculate an extra set of things which we haven't calculated yet. So to be easier, we'll use this one. Okay, we should use this now lah. And just now we got the regression equation. Oh, oh. Y equals to a plus bx. All right, we'll call this the regression equation. It is the angle of your line. is the angle of your trend line. Okay, so this angle you can use at the same exact angle we can use to project week 6. You can use to project week 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever, okay, into the future. So it is a very easy forecasting method. So so far online exam I haven't seen it come out yet. So maybe, who knows? Okay, let's move on to number 3.
So
Mention. Okay.
yeah, this one would be describe the coefficient in regression analysis. So R equals 0.9932, which is a significant correlation, which shows that the linear relationship between the year, which is the variable X, and the sales variable Y is strong. So that this shows that as the year increases, the sales of the PCs increases as well.
Yeah. Okay. Ken, moving on. Number 4.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so number 4 is discuss what will be your consideration as operation management if you are forecasting for the service sector. So actually, this one I'm not so sure my answer, but I tried something out. So yeah, the first one is tourism industry. The tourism industry is expected to get a high demand, especially during the weekends or public holidays. So industries like this would not have forecasted the current MCO, and due to this, many companies would have to close down. The operation manager could do a part-time essential business like the food production, so they would not undergo a massive loss during a pandemic like this. The second one is demand of users. So the users are always demanding for more goods and services, and because of this, the operation manager should try to forecast the demand of users at a specific period of time to figure out if it's a high or low demand.
Okay. Can, but we don't want to put your example as your main point. Okay. The question asks, what is your consideration? Okay. The question
Okay.
never asks, what is the industry?
Okay.
So what we do is we will change this to seasonal seasonal businesses. Then you can write the tourism industry as your example instead of point. Or you can write some industries are expected to get high demand, especially during the weekends. Industries like this, and then you can say, example, the tourism industry. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
what else? Yeah, that's about it, I think. Okay, so this question asks considerations if you're forecasting for the service sector. Okay, so I think the seasonal one makes the most sense. For services, your business is always fluctuating, so it's very difficult to forecast. There are times where people look for certain services. There are times where people totally forgot you exist until the time comes again. Okay, so yeah, it is different in the service lah. Moving on. Okay. All right. This case, right? It's talking about uh Firefly. So the case is that Firefly wants to expand. Okay, so Firefly is under this Malaysia Aviation Group. Okay, so this Malaysia Aviation Group got Firefly and got Malaysia Airlines. Okay, got these two companies, and it's going through a very hard time So one of the plans is that MAG wants to get discounts from lessors. Okay, lessors means the people that borrow their money. Okay, uh, they want to use the discounts. Okay, you save some money, and then Firefly wants to buy some more aeroplanes. And then they want to serve from the Penang market. Firefly wants to complement Malaysia Airlines. Okay, so that okay, so Firefly is in the budget market, right? So if Firefly moves up into the leisure market, which Malaysia Airlines is here, then Malaysia Airlines can focus on the premium market. Okay, the premium market. So because Malaysia Airlines not doing very well, right? So they can focus on one, the premium one, and then Firefly can take over the rest. Right. So that's their plan lah. Okay, so Firefly wants to expand the Penang hub, expand their own aeroplanes. Um, but Khazanah, okay, Khazanah is the company, the organization that give them money. Okay, a lot of money. They say that if they cannot get the discounts, if their negotiation fail, then they would have to go into restructuring. Okay, when companies say restructuring, usually a lot of people will get fired lah. Either you move the employees around, and then the ones that you cannot move around already, then you have to let them go. Okay, now plan B, if everything else fails, Khazanah would, instead of giving the money to MAG, Khazanah would give the money directly to Firefly to do their things, okay, to buy new airplane, to expand the Penang hub, and so on. Okay, then they want to focus on domestic and short haul travel. Okay, so this is the case, very simple case, 2020. Okay, quite recent one. Number one.
Okay, number one is based on the case above, discuss the operations management strategies that MAG and Khazanah can use to operate on to ensure the success of the Firefly in this new business environment. So the first strategy we could identify from the passage is complement MAB to support the leisure market. This we could get from identify from the third paragraph, the statement of the third paragraph. So the diversifying is based connecting secondary cities in Malaysia to East Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. In the meanwhile of MAB focusing in the premium markets, Firefly actually can focus on the mass market. So could have a different markets that doesn't clash to each other. For leisure travelers by leveraging on available resources and talent in the group. And then the company was expecting an increase in the capacity over the next 5 years by implementing this strategy. This is due to the citizens are not allowed to travel during the pandemics due to because of the because of the movement restriction from movement control order. Hence, an offer with budget or lower price range may also be appropriate given to the current state of the economics. And then next strategy will be the planning over time horizon. This we could identify from the which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 8th paragraph mentioning that the business strategy that has been realigned to suit the current and future environment. This one.
Okay.
So this one is actually I'm referring to the planning over a time horizon. So the planning horizon that match the pace of the business and set up regular review meetings to support each planning cycle, which is able to maintain the alignment across all business functions. Strategy management areas such as the strategy formalization, level of strategies expansiveness, competition strategy, organization of work on strategy, familiarity with the strategy and tasks were submitted to the detailed analysis, maybe like financial analysis. Therefore, the operations management strategies will allow the company to build for change build flexibility into facilities and equipment due to a change in processes, products, product volume, and product mix.
Okay, let's do this one first. Correct. Now, I think I mentioned this before. This question are very popular in the exam, Mr. Tay style. Most cases, most exams also will have this question one. Okay, so you need to know how to answer this question lah. Based on the case above, what is the operation management strategy? Okay, so how to answer this question? You go back into the case and get the answer. Okay, based on the case above. Don't give any recommendation. Don't give anything else. Okay, just give what is from the case. Okay, so the way you answer is correct lah. So just get points from the case, whatever information you can get, and then you can elaborate yourself. Okay, so what did the company do? What strategies the company use? What direction is it going in, and so on. Okay, so all these things can use to be answer this type of question. Okay, add some more. So you mentioned this and this. Okay, they got other strategies also, which is to they wanted to negotiate with lessors for discounts. Okay, and then they also talked about expanding their range lah. Okay, Firefly wants to add 10 jets to their fleet, and then Firefly wants to expand the Penang hub. Also, they want to focus on the domestic market, and which you never mentioned yet. Okay, so Firefly also wants to focus on the domestic travel, and then also got the short haul travel. Okay, because got COVID, right? So short distance travels. Okay, Ken, let's go on to question 2.
Okay, assume that MAG succeeded in making Firefly the national carrier. Discuss how it will deal in its operations management strategies when demand exceeds its capacity. When the demand is more than capacity, MAG can increase the price of the ticket to reduce the demand. The ticket price increases differ depending on the type of cost and the trip location. So the rise in travel expenses is being fueled by a rebound in leisure travel. As a result, demand for air tickets will be lower when the price is high. So MAG can also increase the frequency of flights during the peak seasons as the popular flight routes and peak travel weekends will have more people that would like to travel even with the highest fares. So the peak seasons are during the end of the year and festive seasons. Most of them who often enjoy uh, that period to meet their family. So besides MAG can also increase the capacity of increasing the flight size. This one as a measure by seats per departure. So time of year and population characteristics play a significant role in determining the flight size. So higher travel demands are met mainly through the greater frequency. Yeah.
Okay, the question asks, what happens if they are very successful? If, okay, which I don't believe. Anyway, if they are very successful next time and demand exceeds capacity, how can they deal with it? Okay, so there are many ways. Increase the price, can. More flights, bigger planes. Okay, so you just expand your capacity or you reduce the number of people taking your flights if you increase the price. Okay, you can also encourage demand towards low demand flights. Okay, for example, midnight flights, nobody want to fly one, some weird timing. You reach another country in the middle of the night. Usually people don't want. Okay, because if you are going on a holiday, you would want to reach in the morning. Okay, like night also like a lot of people don't want, right? Uh, there are no public transport available. It's more scary, you know. So people want to reach in the morning. Those flights are more expensive. If you talk about midnight, maybe not so much. Okay, so you can lower the price there, then you can push some demand over there. Hopefully, all right. You can share. Okay, we share with other flights. You take these customers, I take these customers. Okay, so everybody wins. Um, yeah. So you can think of any other ways lah that to increase your capacity because demand is higher. I think still got a few. Flight scheduling. Not the best, but it works. Flight scheduling. Okay, so you can readjust your scheduling. How do you want to arrange more flights into it? Okay, let's go on. Number 3.
Okay, number 3 is what does facility or capacity planning includes? Actually, I'm not really understand this question. This question I'm answering based on the capacity consideration actually. So the first will be the forecast demand accurately. Next will be the understand the technology and capacity increments. Then find the optimum operating level of or volume lah. So the last will be the build for change build into facilities and equipment due to change in processes, products, product volume, and product mix.
Okay, the question is asking if you're planning, if you're doing facility planning or capacity planning, what should you plan for?
What should we plan for?
Okay, so capacity or facility planning is, okay, we talk about facility first. Facility is your plant, okay, your manufacturing plant. So if you're planning for to build your plant, what are the things that should be included? So this makes sense. Find the optimum operating level. Okay, this facility you buy already, how much do you want to produce inside? Okay, what do you want to do inside? So that is part of your facility planning. Capacity planning is how much do you want to offer? How much do you want to produce? How big do you want your capacity to be? Okay, for example, just now the aeroplane. Capacity planning means how many seats they want to offer every day, how many aeroplanes they want to offer every day, how many aeroplanes they want to have in their fleet. Okay, so it's basically what you have and what you can provide to your customers. Okay, so actually, forecasting is also correct, but I just changed a bit. Okay, forecasting the capacity needed. Yeah, the company's future needs. Correct. Needed over long term. A weird grammar. Increments lah. Okay. And the technology advancements and capacity increments in the future.
Sir, does identify the opportunities to consolidate uh, include in the
Again,
capacity planning?
identify what?
Identify opportunities to consolidate.
Uh, mm, why you want to consolidate? What's the purpose?
Why I need to consolidate?
Hmm. Got different reasons. Okay, first of all, if you want to consolidate, there are reasons that people do something like that. Okay, maybe they want to save money. Okay, so two combined to one, or maybe they bought another company, then they want to combine two into one. Okay, but for general facility or capacity planning, we are looking into something new. Okay, usually, uh, especially for facility planning, we're looking into something new. Okay, so usually in new things, we don't want to consolidate.
We no need to consolidate. Oh,
Correct.
which mean we are not looking on the
It can be
existing items also.
existing also one. Okay, but for facility planning, usually you want to go forward. Okay, look at something
Oh,
new. But capacity planning can always be improved. Okay, so capacity planning sometimes it is ongoing.
I see.
So it can be existing one. Okay, what else? Determining the layout and characteristics of the facility. Okay, the layout and characteristics determine how much you can produce. Okay, if it's very efficient, we can produce more products. If it's not efficient, we produce less products and so on. Okay, depending on what your company goals are. Uh, facility location. Okay, location also is included under facility planning. Okay, next question. Company's future needs also can. Okay, number 4.
Yeah, discuss some of the factors why facility or capacity planning decisions are crucial to a company. So, firstly, uh, capacity planning is crucial to a company because capacity limits the rate of output. Therefore, capacity planning determines the ability of an organization to meet future demand for its products and services. So, secondly, capacity influences the operating cost. So, capacity is determined on the basis of estimated demand. Actual demand is often different from the estimated demand. So, as a result, there is either too much capacity or too little capacity. So, the cost per unit of output rises when there is excess or ideal capacity, whereas under capacity results in the loss of sales. So, thirdly, capacity planning is particularly important because it increases the overall efficiency of a project. So, capacity planning helps highlight that switching between projects cuts into both designers' productivity. With that knowledge, the team leader can reassign the designers so one works on the first project at 100% capacity while the other takes on the second project at 100% capacity. So lastly, capacity planning is crucial because it improves long-term strategic planning of the company. It makes the company simple to figure out if they have enough personnel with the proper skill sets to complete the projects. Knowing this information ahead of time allows the company to hire new employees or look for freelancers and contractors to fill in the gaps as needed.
Okay, you got more answers than me, so I got nothing to add. Uh, okay, the question asks, why is this crucial? Okay, planning about your facility and planning about your capacity requirements Why is this crucial to a company? Number one. Oh wait, I can actually add in. It is often capital intensive. Okay, facility and capacity adjustments or acquisition can be very expensive investments. Okay, that's why it's important. Okay, I put this at the first lah. When you talk about new facility or renovation or adjustments or even buying new equipment, buying new machines, can be very expensive. Okay, so planning is crucial. You better plan properly first before you buy. Okay. It's like buying a car, okay, or buying a house. You buy an equipment, right? A car is an equipment, right? To move you around. Okay. So the first car I bought, right? I took 2 days. I just went around Penang. This one I want. Then I buy. Okay, it's not very smart thing to do. I don't do that. I didn't really regret, but a bit. Okay, so don't do that. So remember, if you're thinking about a larger form of investments, then it's good to think more. Okay, because these are crucial to a company. Okay, next, if you are the capacity, right? Okay, directly determines how much you can do in the future, right? How much you can offer. Just like I say, capacity is what you have and what you can offer, right? So whatever you do now determines what you can do in the future, determines your operating costs, determines your efficiency, and it reflects your strategic planning in the future. Okay, even now lah. Yeah, your explanation also is appropriate. Can let us move on.
So I will present the question 5. Discuss the way to expand the long-range capacity. The first way is to subcontract with the other companies. So it means that outsource the work to the other business that may be able to help you achieve the production goals. Outsourcing work to other companies also allow you some variable space when you are working to your limit. And second is to acquiring other companies' facilities or resources. To expand the long-range capacity, for example, if a company acquire other companies, it will gain the resources and the equipment and the facilities of the company so that it can increase the production capacity. Third is reactivating the facilities. This allows the company to save costs by utilizing the space that is on standby status. And the fourth way is to buy new equipment. If there isn't enough capacity for the production due to the high demand of the product, the company can choose to buy a new equipment to increase the capacity for the productions.
Okay. I got one more. It's expand, update, or modify existing facilities. Okay, yeah, so all of these are ways to improve long range capacity lah. Okay, now long range capacity is usually you imagine things that are either very expensive, okay, or you just use for very long. Okay, so basically machines in the company are long range, okay, because we use for a very long time. Okay, yeah, let's go on. 6.
What are the techniques available to operation managers to deal with a bottleneck operation? Which of these does decrease process cycle time? The first technique is to adding resources at the bottleneck operations. For example, you can assign an employee from another operation to help in the bottleneck operations. Second, the operation manager can also increase the time the operation is working, like assign someone to the operation during schedule break and the lunch periods and use overtime when it is necessary. This cannot this technique cannot reduce the cycle time, but it can allow the bottleneck to produce when others operations are idle. Third is the reassigning some of the bottlenecks works. The operation manager can break the bottlenecks operation down into smaller activities and assign some to the other resources. Then it can shorten the cycle time and increase the capacity.
Okay. So first of all, you need to know what is a bottleneck. Okay. So bottleneck is that one, or not one lah, few lah maybe, few stations or few processes that is the slowest. Okay. It slows down the whole process. Okay. For example, okay, if you bake a cheesecake, right? Not burn one lah, the normal traditional cheesecake. You prepare, you mix the things, and then you bake. Won't take very long. Okay, 1 hour, 1 hour plus. But then you need to refrigerate the thing. Okay, because you need to serve it cold, right? Takkan you serve the cheesecake hot one. Okay, so it needs to be cold. So after you take out from the oven, let's say you took 1 hour to prepare and 40 minutes to bake your cheesecake. Okay, and then you need to let it cool down, which is another 1 hour. And then you need to refrigerate, let's say 6 hours. Okay, so we know obviously refrigerating is your bottleneck. Okay, from the in the whole process to get a completed cheesecake where you can serve, you need to go through the refrigeration process, which is 6 hours. The other process all around 1 hour. Okay, so the slowest one is the bottleneck. Imagine if you can, like for example, butter cake, right? You can serve hot one. You don't need refrigeration. Then there is no such bottleneck operation. Okay, so in most factories, some of the processes are more difficult. Okay, that's why you have bottleneck, super slow one. The worst is the bottleneck station is not the last one. It's not the last process. It's in the middle somewhere. So that's worse lah. Okay, so the question asks you, how do we deal with bottlenecks? Adding more resources. Okay, sometimes it works. Sometimes the machine is slow, so we add more machines. Okay, but for example, just now I say refrigeration. Refrigeration, you add more fridge also useless because it takes a long time. Okay, so that one is different. Okay, so some processes you can add resource. Okay, next you say increase the time the operation is working. Can, right? During breaks or lunch where other stations are not working, this station will continue to work. Okay, if we need 24 hours, we can do also. Reassigning can. Okay, add some more. Alternate routing. Okay, so these are two additional steps you can do. Alternate routing, right, is station A, station B, station C, right? Let's say station B is very slow. We move the product from A to C first, then only we go back to B. C can or not? All right, so we just change the routing lah inside the factory. And also, you must make sure that we follow the speed of the bottleneck station. Okay, if a machine is slow, we will follow that speed of the slow machine. Okay, because if let's say A is very fast, B is very slow, then we keep producing A, produce because it's fast. also useless. At the end of the day, you will have a lot of work in process inventory. Okay, so you follow the speed of the bottleneck station.
So question number 7 is what is the break-even analysis and what is the objective of break-even analysis? Break-even analysis is the critical tool for determining meaning the capacity a facility must have to achieve profitability. So the objective of the break-even analysis is to find the point in the dollars and units at which cost equal to revenue. And cost can also say that calculate the minimum sales level sufficient to cover all the fixed and variable costs.
Oh, okay. Okay, very simple lah. You all learn 10,000 times already. Break-even analysis. Yes, go on.
So question number 8 is the operation manager would like to determine the break-even point before producing new products. Below is the information provided by the company. Calculate the break-even point in units and in value. So first we calculate the break-even point in unit. So the formula is equals to the fixed cost is divided by the price per unit minus variable cost per unit. So the fixed cost will be 70,000 and the price per unit, selling price per unit is 40 ringgit and the variable cost per unit is using the direct labor cost to plus the direct material cost. So it will 5.8 ringgit plus 1.2 ringgit equals to 7 ringgit. Then the 70,000 divide the 7 equal to the 10,000 units. So break even point in value, the formula will be the fixed cost divided 1 minus the variable cost per unit and the price per unit. So it will be the 70,000 of the fixed cost divided 1 minus the total of the variable cost and mentioned at the both is 7 ringgit and divide the selling price per unit. So and it will become 70,000 divide the 0.5 and get the value of 140,000 ringgit.
Okay. Can. Right, so there are two ways, right? Break-even point in units, how many units you must sell, and how much revenue you need to earn. So 10,000 units, if the company sells more than this, they make money. Less than this, they lose money. Okay, same on the value. Right? So not surprisingly, some businesses do not calculate break-even and a break-even point, especially smaller businesses lah. Okay, got sales, they very happy already. Not important to them. So sometimes if you're lucky, it works lah. But if you are unlucky, you might have certain items that make your cost higher than your revenue. Okay, so it makes it very difficult to cover. And then at the end of the year, got earn money or not, also they don't know. And then why their bank account smaller and smaller, also they don't know. So if you don't find out these things, then it's very difficult to improve your business. Okay, done. Let's move on to the next tutorial. Uy, there's one more tutorial.
So because the other group they want to study for audit is tomorrow test.
Oh,
So
no.
they decide
Audit not important.
Yeah.
OM important. Okay. Can we do it next week? Can we do 2 tutorials next week?
Yes, they decide to do the next week another group also together.
Okay. Can lah. So next week we will do. Actually, I want to do two next week also But then I think we are a bit fast also. We are ahead of the lecture already. So we will do tutorial 8 and 9 next week, and then 10 and 11 the following week. Okay, never mind. We do next week first. Okay, 8 and 9 lah. Yeah. Okay, can. So you all prepare two next week lah. Okay. In that case, today finish liao lah. Nothing already lah. You all go study lah. Okay.